How do you think someone should handle a day where they can't hit the weights they had planned? So let's say they've gone in there, it's too busy. What should they do? What do you reckon they should do? Should they wait and still train? Should they come back another day, do something else entirely, or just do body weight exercises? What are your thoughts on that? What would you do?
Well, I mean, if the situation, the situation in hand is basically due to the gym being too busy, if that's what you're having to deal with rather than either a mental or physical state, then you need to adapt. There's plenty of exercises out there where you can chop and change with regards to whatever muscle group you're training. There's always an alternative. There's always an adapted exercise that you can use.
Yeah.
And it also, it depends on the confidence that you have as a trainer, so to speak, inside. Regardless of how busy your gym is, wherever I go, training-wise, I will always ask if I can jump in or if we can work between sets with somebody. I'll never really let the state of the gym affect my workout.
Yes.
Unless it is actually a very poor gym. And then generally will I only sort of change the planned workout that I had in my head or muscle groups that I had in my head. I'd probably adapt and do something more of a metabolic type training session or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, I wouldn't really let it affect the session. It certainly wouldn't change the muscle groups based on it just being a busy gym. I'd have a little bit more confidence inside and stick to my guns and go out and try and do what was set to begin with.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess also that confidence could come down to your ability in knowing, how to supplement your training and what other techniques could be used as well.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it is. It's if you're training regularly and you're periodizing your programs and you're changing the exercises, and you should have quite a wide variety.
Yeah, like a tool bag almost. Yeah.
Exactly. The only time that you'll see it is if you've got a novice in the gym that's doing 12 different exercises, 4 different sets for one muscle group, and he's left with nothing. But that's when experience comes into hand, really, where you learn to adapt. There is situations whereby you're not going to get on that machine straight away.
Yes.
But you could do isometric contractions in between.
Yeah.
You can do anything to keep the blood pumping to that muscle, so it doesn't cool down and you don't lose the intensity and the stimulation that you're trying to get.
Yes, absolutely. Perfect. How do you think someone should adapt their training as they become more advanced?
It's another good question, really. As a novice, as a beginner, you shouldn't be throwing yourself in at the deep end. I'd always suggest or recommend that you work full body workouts. Keeping it simple, but always start with the compound movements. If you can nail them from day one, if you can get them ingrained into your system, into your training routine from the very beginning, then that's when the overload where you can start to add the extra weight. Now, as you start to progress, you can sort of progress into sort of body part splits and things like that, and then start to change with the tempos,
yes,
the rep ranges, your rest periods, your different phases as well. You can play with the eccentric and concentric phase, whether you want to work to failure on one way or the other. But there's a multitude of different things that you can use to adapt and advance. As long as you're periodizing as well, I'm a big fan of periodization, going through strength workouts, hypertrophy workouts, even lactic acid type training.
Yes.
And one thing that I've sort of now incorporated into my own training, and a lot of the guys down at UP and Mayfair do, is we do double sessions.
Yes, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, you'll do a power strength-based session in the morning, and then a few hours later you'll take it back into a hypertrophy.
Is that the same muscle group?
Yeah, the same muscle group, exactly. Yeah, you'll actually work the same muscle group, and then what you're doing is you're not really overtraining. It's something we call overreaching.
Yeah.
You'll overreach for 2 weeks, and then you'll have on the third week a bit of a deload week where you'll back off slightly, and that's when your body starts to benefit from the growth from the overreaching in the initial phase.
That's interesting. I like that premise.
Yeah, I mean it's easy for us. We work.
Yeah, you're in there. Yeah.
It's not as practical for the average daily daily worker. But in terms of gains, I've seen quite a few gains myself personally, and same with the other guys down at the gym. It's a great method to use. It's a lot more disciplined.
Yeah, you'd have to be fully into it, or like someone in your situation itself.
Yeah, you really do. And if you've got family, if you've got another half that doesn't really quite understand it, it's quite hard to incorporate that into your training routine.
Absolutely.
So that's why you can still do single sessions, but as long as you're periodizing it as well, because you don't really want to be missing out on those different muscle fibers. By working strength, by working hypertrophy, at least you're hitting your fast twitch and your slow twitch fibers at the same different periods.
Correct. All right, let's move on to question number 3. I personally follow you on social media, so I see some of your eating and I probably follow what you do quite. It replicates what the way I eat as well. And the question is, what is your typical eating pattern, and is it something you have been consistent with, or have you tried alternative ways to optimize nutrition?
Yeah, my typical eating pattern is I'm a big believer in smaller meals more often throughout the day. I will eat between 2.5, no longer than 3 hours. I've always pretty much been that way for quite a while now, at least sort of 6-7 years. I'm a firm believer in that sense, how it works for me. It gives me good stability. It stops me from wanting to binge. I'm never in a state of feeling too hungry.
Yes.
Now, my thoughts with regards to my different macros at different times during the day, that has changed slightly. I used to be carb heavy in the morning, and then traditionally, as everyone used to preach, stop the carbs later on in the evening.
Yes.
But my views towards that have changed, and everything changes through trial and error. It's all based on research.
Yes.
There's nothing done willy-nilly. It's all scientific research that I'll implement any changes on, or through somebody that I regard or have a high respect for in the industry.
Yes.
But yes, more so now, for example, I'm very sort of protein and fats first thing in the mornings, and then my carbs are normally based around my training sessions. A 2-to-1 ratio straight after my workout and my post-workout shake, and then my 2 post-workout meals will be carb loaded.
Yes.
And other than that, that's the only sort of time of day I will have them, and that will change depending on what time of day I train.
Yeah.
So I'm always consistent.
Who's been a big influence personally that you've gotten a lot of information for your eating for?
More recently, Nick Mitchell.
Yeah.
And Phil Learning.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 guys. Phil, is somebody that I look up to and respect, and he's the guy that for the last couple of years really has planned my diet.
Yeah.
Which it sounds weird having a personal trainer or coach, having somebody else plan your diet, but what it does is it makes you accountable to somebody.
Absolutely, yeah.
You've got somebody there telling you what to do, and it's easier for you to do it in a sense. And it's the same with trying to stay in shape. There's no real on and off season for somebody like me. It's whenever you get the phone call. It could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be 2 or 3 days. So you can't really afford to fluctuate too much in terms of body fat. So the diet has to be consistent. It has to be sustainable. And like I say, you need that accountability towards somebody. And then so it's been Phil and Nick really in the last sort of year and a half or so.
Yeah, excellent.
Before that, there wasn't really anybody from a nutrition point of view that I copied or replicated. I had a degree in nutrition, so I was kind of pretty clued up with regards to what I was doing. It was just, it wasn't as regimented, so to speak.
Yes. All right, perfect. What is the most important thing to get right if you are to get a great physique? Your
diet diet and your training,
Yeah.
which it is. But what it comes down to at the end of the day is preparation.
Yes.
It's planning and preparation with regards to your diet and with regards to your training. If you've got no set plan or anything like that, then it's so easy to sidetrack, to wander, to not stay focused. You know, everything needs to be planned and prepared. You know, the
Yes.
diet, it needs to be planned and tailored to you, not
Yes.
to somebody else. You can't just go copy somebody else's diet.
Yeah.
And then the preparation is, you know, obviously the preparing of the food and everything like that on a regular basis. And then with regards to the training as well, it's the preparation of planning the programs that you're going to do and foreseeing those programs, actually, you know, doing them for the set period that you planned.
Yeah.
So many people will chop and change a workout after a week or 2 weeks because they're not seeing any results. You
Yeah.
know, there's been no consistency. There's been not enough time there to actually let the program mature and work for you and for your advantage.
Yeah, good. All right. What's it like training and working alongside Nick Mitchell?
In honesty, it's an honour. It really is. He's one of these people that I've looked up to for a long time. I've always respected him. And, you know, initially I moved down from Edinburgh as a personal trainer. Well, I run my own business. I'm working as a personal trainer because if you decide you want to be a personal trainer or a coach, then obviously London's the place to be.
Yeah.
Now, I worked at a couple of gyms before coming to Ultimate Performance, but all those gyms are basically stepping stones.
Yeah.
And now I'm at this gym. I don't see like I'm stepping towards anything else. I kind of feel like I've reached where I wanted to be in terms of the industry or the place where I want to work.
Yeah.
Which is the most sort of respected, and that's, you know, due to Nick and how he's, you know, organised and set the business, what he expects of you, and also how they integrate you into a team and educate you.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't matter what level you come on at, you always are learning every week.
Good.
You know, we do educational tutorial, you know, classes once a week, and it's a team effort. You know, everyone pitches in and says something, and you know, you are constantly learning.
It sounds like the perfect environment.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's the perfect environment to be in. You know, you're saturated in it. You're saturated around guys who are absorbed in the knowledge. They have a wealth of knowledge, and sometimes you can get quite one-track minded. But it's not the case here. You know, you will adapt. You will change. You know, your theories, your thoughts beforehand.
Yeah, good.
Move laterally. You know, you can start to think outside the box a little bit more.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. What are your views on the fitness industry currently in the UK?
In what sense do you mean the fitness industry? Do you mean as a personal training point of view, or fitness?
Let's just say what the public perception would be. You know, what's it viewed as at the moment? Is it in a good state, a bad state?
I'd say at the moment it's a little bit of 50-50. From a fitness professional point of view, I think it's in a good state. We are heading in the right direction. You know, with the help of the social media, there's a lot more information being fed out there to the general public and trying to get them involved and get them on a healthier lifestyle track. However, that being said, the introduction of the social media also introduces people that have no qualifications, have no real idea of the real world and how it works in terms of fitness.
Yeah.
You know, only know what they've learned, and yet they're preaching and telling people what to do.
Yeah.
When they should, you know, they have no right in doing that, and it can be a little bit dangerous. But you know, the fitness industry is definitely growing. You know, you see it now with all the fitness modelling competitions.
Yeah.
You know, you go to, you know, the UK's biggest expo, Body Power.
Yeah.
That is getting massive and massive now, and it's getting massive obviously because the industry is growing. There's much more awareness of it, and again, that's probably due mainly to the social media aspect of it, and you know, websites like yourself and other websites out there providing information that makes it a little bit more accessible to people.
Yeah, good. Where do you see the future lie for the fitness industry in the UK?
grow. It's going to keep growing and growing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there'll be at some point a little bit more of a higher standard or a set standard across the board with regards to who can be a personal trainer, who's a gym instructor, who works at what level, and so forth. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case at the moment, with regards to, especially with regards to qualifications.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I took my qualifications, God, we're talking nearly over 10 years ago now, you know, there's a 50-50 pass and fail rate. You know, you either passed based on you could perform what were they asking of you, or you failed.
Yeah.
And now it just seems to be passed. Everyone seems to be passing. It's just numbers and money through the door.
Because it's what it's looked at, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's looked at as someone's more interested in opening up this, you know, a training or qualification business, not because they want to put out quality professionals. It's because they want to make the bottom line, don't they?
Exactly, and that's the problem. I mean, money obviously dictates a lot of things, unfortunately.
This is where the government should step in and regulate.
But hopefully, with, you know, as time progresses, we can start to filter out the bad and introduce the more the good people out there. And I think as well, if people start following or start looking up to people who are actual professional role models, then they will start to distinguish what is good and what is not.
Yeah, good. Excellent. All right. One more thing.
Yeah.
What got you into, you know, this life that you lead, this passion, you know, where it lies at the moment?
I mean, into fitness or into training on a personal level, it actually all stemmed from when I was very young.
Yeah.
I think it was in my third year. It must have been my third year at school. So 13, 14, and we were doing a cross-country race. And I was never very good at anything like that, any other sports or anything. And me and my friend said, "Oh, we'll just take it easy. We'll just jog this round." And, you know, not that we had any sort of physical ability to do any good at anyways. But at the end of the race, basically, he sprinted away and left me for last, and I came last out of the whole school, and I was so embarrassed. So I went home and told my dad, and then he got me training, took me down to my local gym, even though I couldn't, you know, legally be training there because I was under 16, but started training there, started doing a little bit of running, and then the year after, actually, I won the cross-country race, and then I started taking up rugby union, and at the age of 16, I got asked to play semi-pro rugby league, and it kind of went from there, really. The rugby league, the training programs that I did was based around the rugby league that I played, and the passion just took on from there. And unfortunately, when I got injured in rugby, I went to university. I say unfortunately, fortunately, depending on how you look at it. Did a degree in nutrition, and to couple my degree, I started doing my gym qualifications, worked in the university gym, and it all sort of went from there, really. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. It's very similar to me, so.
No, really?
Yeah, absolutely. It's it almost mimics in itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think you find a lot of people like that when something so passionate, or what they were so passionate about, is taken away from them, they find something to fill that void.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
And it literally, for me, when I was 25, and it was my 9th operation in the space of 4 years.
Wow.
The surgeon was like, you know, we can keep doing this dance so you can just stop playing.
Yeah.
So I stopped playing. I entered the men's health competition about a week later, and then I think it was 8 weeks later I'd won the competition. So it was a blessing in disguise in a way, and that's what got me involved in the fitness modelling side of things as well.
Excellent. There you go.
Yeah.
Now you're off to the Arnold Classic.
Yeah, off to the Arnold Classics, fly out Thursday.
Yeah.
So 3 full days there, which is always fun. It's a good venue to be. It's a good place to actually meet a few people that you never get to see over here as well.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to go meet some of those people and have a chat and
good.
catch up.
All right.
And then back to the real world.